Hello everybody, my son HW here, Far Dizzle, good to see you. Still waiting for the bracket to be ready. Svertresm is currently up in the first semifinal, and then we have Dark Phoenix and Odium Razel fighting in the quarterfinal to go fight him. Dr. Kokosik. Okay, never mind, look at that. I gotta leave because looks like Odium Razel just defeated Dark Phoenix as I was saying that. And we should have our first semifinal ready to go in just a moment here. So I'm going to go ahead and keep an eye out for that lobby. You can see there's Razel and Dark Phoenix's lobby that they just finished up in. And as always, let me know if the video and audio quality is all right. I want to make sure you guys have a good viewing experience. Also, maybe I'll just do this. Okay. Like that. Hey guys, Adius. Good to see you, man. Good day to you. Those are the other. That's one of the quarterfinals. That's the other quarterfinal. And this is the quarterfinal that just finished. Go check my Discord really quick too. Time to make myself gigantic so you can see all of my acne. I always looked like Chet Faker. Chet Faker, singer, right, or musician? What does he even look like? I've never seen him. Fair enough. Hey, thank you very much with the Prime 1 subscription. Much appreciated. Makes it good to see ya. And thank you very much for that. That makes me very happy. So thank you for the support. Been getting some good subscriber counts lately, so thank you all very much. Now let's go see here. Is that battle lobby up? There we go. So if they're open army blocker. Oh, of course. I do my best to pronounce the names right. Boop, 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 boop. All right, so we'll get Svertresm in here, and then should be good to go. Razel versus Svertresm should be a very good fight. Let's get the scoreboard up on the board, get everything added. So in blue will be Odium Razel. And in red we'll have Svertresm. All right, Svertasm has shown up. He has picked Greenskins and Vampire Counts on Oakenhammer. Greenskins and Vampire Counts, that's a good combination pick. We'll see what the counter is from Odium Razel. All right, a Lizardman counter, a good counter pick against those two factions. And Razel, a very strong Lizardman player at that. And I think I would honestly take, I guess, Vampire Counts here, but I suppose Greenskins could have a good match. Could bring some things to even it up, but I think overall Lizardmen still have a fairly good matchup against Greenskins. Looks like Svertasm is going to go with the Greenskins, and that will make me happy, seeing as they are still one of my top favorite factions, even though I don't play them as much anymore. So we'll see how they do. They also just haven't been as popular in the current meta, interestingly enough. Remember when they were the beastmen of their time when the Ponch DLC came out and everybody was complaining about them, but now it seems like they're back in a pretty reasonable spot. Hey, thank you so much. Man, okay, that's really nice of you. You've been slowing down on your content creation, but I do appreciate you adding me to the host list. That's very nice of you. Latest DLC swung the matchup in favor of Lizardman. Yeah, I would say that's fair. Stout Keg, because I've always considered it Lizardman favored. Like, ever since Lizardmen have existed, I think they've had a good matchup against Greenskins. But with the recent DLC, that's a very good point. Skink Oracle's very good at sniping down heroes and single entities like Grom and stuff. I think their missile damage is insane. So we'll see what happens. Also, with the Arc of Sotex kind of being buffed a bit, they're pretty popular against Greenskins too, because you can expect a lot of Greenskin Infantry oftentimes. Send an Arc of Sotek in there, get that AoE damage going, and be quite effective. Alright, just waiting on Razel now. Oakenhammer, a nice big open map in both of these strong skirmish factions indeed. Chameleon Skinks tend to give the Lizardmen a bit of an edge in the skirmish game just because they have that really good missile resistance. But enough speculation, let's see what the players have brought as we load into the game. Gonna take off my ugly mug, that screen blocker, and throw up the intro card. So here we have it, ODM Razel bringing the Lizardmen versus Svertasm with the Greenskins. This is round one of their best of three semifinal in the third tournament of the HW League Season 9. I know Mazdamundi versus Grimbor would be pretty sick, but I have my doubts that that's what we'll see. Mazdamundi, definitely a possibility. Grimgor, not as common of a pick, especially against the Lizardmen, where he can get trounced by Stegodons. Happy to watch Warhammer battles. And we are in. So, going to start with our blue player, per tradition. And the Lizardmen here being brought by Odium Razel will have a couple of Chameleon Stalkers out front. I really like these units. I know they get mixed reviews, but I think they're quite effective, especially against cheap infantry that they can blow up with their explosive blow darts. We're then going to see 3 Skink Cohort Javelins. Red-Crested Skink Cohort, the Red-Crested Skinks being the cohort of Sotek. We had 3 Skink Cohort, unless there was some extra that were deployed before. No, it looks like just 3 total. Now for the Cav, we're going to have a Cold One Rider and a Cold One Spear Rider. We're then going to have 2 Bastillodons with the Arcs of Sotek on top of them, ready to pour out snakes into the enemy ranks. We're also going to have a Skink Oracle on top of his Troglodyte, as always. He has Fireball, Earthblood, and Windblast. And then we have Krokar on top of a Horned One, bringing Hand of Gods and the Sacred Spawning of Exwaddle. So, that's going to round out this Lizardman army. Very cool build, I have to say. And time to go check out the Greenskins, who are going to have a very healthy amount of skirmish cav here, in the form of 3 Forest Goblin Spider Riders and 2 Wolf Rider Archers. We're also going to be looking at the 8-Peak Loonies, supporting an infantry force that will consist of Orc Boys and Goblins. Looks like 3 Orc Boys from what I saw, and 1 Goblin. In the backline, we're going to have a whole lot of Trolls, which is going to explain the cheap infantry line. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 units of Stone Trolls. So very interesting build here. A lot of mass. These Trolls have packed quite a punch, and they will be able to pin those dinosaurs in place. Over here we do have a giant river troll hag with Spirit Leech and Mither. Big old bag of fish and octopi. And then we have Grom the Paunch, the Goblin King himself. He is going to be bringing the Lucky Banner. The Greydun is here, and Language of Du Bois to give that immune to psychology and melee leadership buff while he's in melee. So, that rounds out our 2 players' armies. Time to take a high-level view, and just right on cue, they're going to begin. Greenskins shifting their skirmish cav to either flank, so 3 and 3, and they're going to be pushing out to try and pressure the wings of this Lizardman army. Meanwhile, Chameleon Stalkers are coming out to counter-skirmish them. I like Chameleon Stalkers. I don't really like that they're using their ammunition on the missile cav. They're going to do damage, but they're just not very tightly packed, so the explosion damage is going to be mitigated by that. Whereas if they threw it into a Goblin unit, like half health, 1 volley, no doubt in my mind. But over here, they are going to win out in the end anyway, you know, get these guys to start routing for a moment at least. And the front lines are coming to greet each other eagerly. Cohort of Sotek, Chameleon, or Skink Cohort, all coming out to meet the Orc Boys and get right into it. Trolls coming forward too, and now the rest of the Lizardman Greenskin infantry lines are meeting. Skink Cohort with Javelins are going to open fire, but the Stone Trolls were given the attack order just to go right through the front line to get on top of them. Over here, Hand of the Gods going down on top of Grom the Paunch and smashing him. He's down below half health already, and look at this. We see Krokar on his Horned One, giving him very nice speed at 78, going right after Grom the Paunch. He is chasing that chariot through the forest, but it does look like we have some Spider Archers coming in to play defense and save Grom the Paunch, so he can live to fight another day. Over here, Trolls looking pretty weak. Cold One Knights diving into him, and now you have Chameleon Stalkers hitting him in the flank. The rest of the Greenskin front line looks like a pretty even trade across the board. The Greenskins seem to be winning the right flank pretty hard with the 8-peak loonies, but Bastillodons with the Arc of Sotek have been sent in here and seem to be stemming the tide of the Greenskin advance. And right now, Lizardmen, I would say, looking pretty strong. If they can keep getting terror routes on top of stone trolls, they should be in a good spot. Wa did just get popped, though, giving a nice buff to all of the Greenskin forces on the map. Over here, some good micro from our Greenskin player, Svertrazum, getting a nice rear charge into the Skink cohort as they were pinned in combat with the 8-peak loonies. And, you know, balance of power is still dead even, basically. Bastillodons with the Arc of Sotek, one of them looking pretty weak. But the Skink Oracle still on the battlefield doing just fine, and he has Earthblood. But Mither going down on top of him, and now there's some Stone Trolls coming for him. Looks like 3 Stone Trolls over here with the River Troll Hag. This is going to be a very key engagement, because right now it looks like the Greenskins may have an opportunity to kill a lot of the single entity power in this Lizardman army. You got this Bastillodon that's already wavering, and unless the Lizardmen get a terror route in this engagement, they're going to lose all of their killing power. And you can see the balance of power reflecting that the Skink Oracle not in a good spot. Bastillodon getting off 1 Arc of Sotek's Snake Summon before he goes routing, so that's going to be very, very useful. Over here, the Skink Oracle looking like he found an opportunity to escape, and he is taking advantage. And that is going to be very, very important. The Skink Oracle has to stay alive. If he does, then I think the Lizardmen have a chance, and you can see the balance of power starting to even up a bit there as the Skink Oracle regains his leadership. Over here, River Troll Hag getting terror routed. And did I miss something over here that wasn't... No, it looks like Ground the Pontius just stayed far away from these main engagements because Krokar is such a danger to him. And in his absence, it looks like the Lizardmen have found an opportunity to eliminate the Greenskin caster. So as long as they keep the pressure up, this River Troll Hag is dead to rights. Meanwhile, you can see the Bastillodons and the Skink Oracle recommitting to combat over here now that the Lizardmen have some infantry support, and they are successfully terror routing a lot of the trolls. And it looks like Svertrazum will concede defeat, not liking his path to victory there, looking a bit too narrow perhaps. So ODM Razel going to take a quick 1-0 lead in this best of 3. Krokar doing very well for himself. That Hand of the Gods, I know I missed the impact, but you could see very clearly from Ground the Punch's health that it did connect, and I'm guessing a fireball probably went in there too. So both the Skink Oracle and Krokar doing very well for themselves. Skink cohort getting mobbed pretty hard, but you know they did their job, which is buy time. The Skink Javelins also got mobbed pretty hard, and I like the pick of the Stone Trolls. It's definitely a very rush build, or you have to smash and grab and win. I think in hindsight, it would have been better if the Greenskins tried to refuse an engagement. You can see that in the initial engagement, both forces kind of pivoted counterclockwise, and I think the Greenskins should have refused the right flank at the last moment and then just rushed to the left very hard. So the Lizardmen perhaps had to wheel around their left flank to get in combat, because I think with a build like this, you can't go for a frontline engagement. It's a very asymmetric build, and I think you need to kind of overload a flank in some way in order to like break through and just get, you know, the routes rolling. But otherwise, the terror routes were just really too strong from the Bastillodons and from the Skink Oracle on the Troglodon. The Trolls doing fairly well for themselves. You know, this one especially, 1,700 value. That's very impressive. But in the end, it was just those terror routes. You know, there was a moment there where it looked like the Greenskins had it. And I think this is a very close matchup as the balance of power. I was actually agreeing with it going back and forth there in the end, because those Trolls almost had it there for a moment when they had the 2 Bastillodons and the Skink Oracle kind of mosh pitted down in place. But very good plays to Razel, and let's see what happens in round 2. Lindsay Shamefer, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. And we're live. Oh no, Razel dropped out. That didn't say player dropped or anything. Now I'm doubting myself. Oh, game crash at the end screen. Alright. Razel just let us know that his game crashed at the end screen, so it was a GG. Alright, everybody in the chat, let me know, out of all the Warhammer 3, not all the factions actually, out of the 4 Chaos factions, which one are you most excited for? Got our Corn boys. My best friend is a Corn boy. I'm more of a Nurgle boy. Sinch. They're Sinch people, and of course Slaanesh. So let me know. Want to know what y'all are most excited for. Slaanesh, Vardizzle? I'm feeling like I might become a Slaanesh main in Warhammer 3. I'm liking the look of their models. They look pretty great. But I'm also digging Nurgle. I mean, can you get better than little Nurgle demons giving each other high fives? Like, I just really enjoy that. Everybody's so happy in their army too. Look at that little guy in the bottom right. He just okay. Hold on, I'm gonna full screen this for a second. Look at that little guy. Screw it. We're only gonna look at him. Hey, buddy. Like, look at the joy in his face. He's just so happy. Ah, Nurglings. They're awesome. Alright, let's do that. Get back to here. Oh, did my game crash now? I think my game might have crashed now. It certainly did, so let's get back into it. Looks like first battle, crash. Hey, par for the course. Slaanesh in very close camera angles. That booty don't stop. Alright, so far it looks like we got 2 Slaaneshes. Myself going Nurgle here. No Sinch fans out there, huh? Sinch, I think, looks pretty dope. That's another... All of them look really good, I have to say. I mean, Khorne's probably the one I'm least excited for just because I don't know what it is. Khorne seems boring to me. But I'm sure it will be a fun faction to play. I have no doubt about that. It's just, I don't know, the aesthetic and like what Khorne represents doesn't super intrigue me. I don't find it very, very interesting. Like Slaanesh, that one is very intriguing to me. The whole just excesses. Pleasure until it's painful, pain until it's ecstasy, you know, that whole thing is fun. You're Slaanesh, no doubt. Oh, Romulan. Okay, we got 3 Slaanesh then. I'm the solo Nurgle guy out here. Crap legs for day. Those guys look like Protoss Dragoons in the Sinch army. And then they also have like the Protoss shields too. Okay, what the hell's going on here? Internet's okay, I'm not dropping frames. Come on. Alright, 3rd time's the charm. Yeah. I feel like Air Force play is going to be so crazy in Game 3. It seems like there's just going to be... I mean, I guess there's already a lot of air units in the game, but it just seems like all of the new factions... I guess Kislev doesn't have any air units, so I take that back. Nurgle does, though. Yeah, all of the Chaos factions do, especially Sinch. Sinch seems to have like an emphasis on flying factions, or flying units. And we're back. Okay. Each full flying and ranged army with ability to land. I did not know they had the ability to land. I'm a terrible content creator. That's actually really cool. Does that mean it's going to extend to the other flying units, though? Like, Lewin can just land his Hippogriff? I wouldn't be completely opposed to that. I guess it might make flying units a bit OP, but then again, if they're on their ground and their stats are debuffed similarly, you know, like Pegasus Knights on the ground. Yeah, I don't know. Or if they're the only faction that can do that, that would be pretty weird. Yeah. I can see that. You know, it makes sense to me where it's like you want to hide a unit of Pegasus Knights in the forest, so you deploy them on the ground in the forest somewhere, and then they take off for the ambush. Or you go into a battle and you see that your opponent just like is full of flying units, so you just want to ground your air force next to your army. So if they try to come in and kill it, your ground units are there to support them. But I don't know, that'd be interesting. Gyros and balloons, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense, I suppose. Maybe gyros not. I don't know. So maybe they just restrict it to animals that can land, and not mechanical flying contraptions. All right, there we go. Let's get gone. The gyro walking would be very silly. That's a good point. Yeah. Pillar of Bones is the map. Razel picking Beastmen and Wood Elves. Nice complementary factions. I'm trying to think if they have any weak factions, but can't really think of any that they would both be weak to. Alright, we're going to have Svertrazum picking Beastmen, forcing either a mirror match or a Wood Elf pick. And it's going to be a match between the Beastmen, so it should be a pretty fast-paced smash and grab kind of a match. Unless they both go kite, which would be interesting from Beastmen, but you never know. Let's get ourselves some banners going. They just get out and push them on logs or something. All right. Our VM clan member already ready. ODM still taking his time. Time to work out my hands so I can stay at my peak performance for Warhammer. WASD, people. WASD. I punch those keys so hard. And guess what? We're ready to go. So let's get rid of my face, get rid of this army blocker, and throw up the intro card as we load into the battle. Now, going to be ODM Razel with the Beastmen up against Svertrasm with the Beastmen as well. Now, this is round 2 of their best of 3, and it is currently match point for ODM Razel as he is leading 1-0. We can hear the Beastmen braying away. I would like it if some of them made more, you know, goat noise, like I want to hear some like pigs squeals and all that stuff. Also, I don't know if any of y'all have been watching The Wheel of Time, but I have, and I've been enjoying it. Not gonna lie, loved the books when I was younger. I read them in middle school, I think, and I'm enjoying the adaptation. But without further ado, let us get to the battle and see these very similar armies, at least at first glance. Now, starting with our red player, Svertrasm, fighting to stay alive, we have 4 throwing axes, one of which will be the Regiment of Renown, Groghubs of Wolf's Run. Now, we are going to be seeing for the infantry, looks like 2, 3, 4, 5 units of Ungor Herd. We're then going to have 2 regular old Centaurs. Down here on a chariot, we do have a Bray Shaman with the Lore of Wild. He is going to have Traderkin and nothing else. Up in the air, we have the double Feral Manticore. And down on the ground, we have a Gore Bull and Torox the Brass Bull ready to get down and dirty in melee combat. Now, for our blue players' Beastmen army, we are going to have a front line of Ungor Spearman Herd, including the Destroyers of Drakkwald, Regiment of Renown. We're also going to have Centaurs, 1 on either flank, 4 throwing axes, not the Regiment of Renown though. We got the 2 Feral Manticores up in the air. We have a Tusk Gore Chariot. We have a Bray Shaman also with Traderkin, a Gore Bull, and Torox the Brass Bull. So very similar armies, some differences here and there. I think the Tusk Gore Chariots will prove to be a pretty decisive factor if they are used to their fullest potential. Because otherwise the Ungor Herd will be able to destroy the Ungor Spearman Herd with enough time. They also outnumber them. But if this Tusk Gore Chariot is allowed to do some work, then our blue player here may be able to dominate the infantry engagements. Alright, throwing axe is coming out. Blue Centaur is going to be pulling back on the right wing and letting the Ungor Spearman herd come up and soak up that damage. Both players looking a little bit cautious here, but now, after testing the waters, look like they're going to be getting into combat over here. Manticore's coming in. Looks like a red Manticore coming after the chariots. Blue Manticore just coming in for the terror route. Ungor Spearman herd going to terror route first, though. And in come Gorbol and Torox right after that Manticore. Big hit from Torox. And Centaurs are coming in now to support. The rampage on the Manticore means it may be doomed at this point if Gorbol and Torox stay on top of him long enough. But a Traitorkin did just go down. That should do some good damage. And we're going to be seeing Torox and the other Gorbol coming in now to get engaged with our blue Torox. And a Traitorkin going down there. This is very much just a duel of mere heroes and monsters. We have the two flying Manticores coming at each other now in combat. Over here, red Manticore still rampaging, but it looks like this engagement is still breaking pretty even. But there goes our other Manticore into combat on top of Torox the Brass Bull. In comes the other Manticore, so all four Manticores, all three heroes, everybody's just stuffed into this engagement. Meanwhile, the rest of the battlefield, we're going to just see seeing those cheap infantry engagements kind of breaking even. Destroyers of Drakwild able to defeat their Ungor herd counterparts. They do have very, very high melee defense at 47 compared to 24, so they should be coming out on top, especially with the poison damage they have as well. Over here, it looks like... Who just conceded? I must have missed it when I went over to cover the infantry engagements. My apologies if I missed the juicy action, but... Let's see who conceded. Yeah, Razel going to concede. Torox appropriately getting the devil's number. And yeah, I'm kind of... I must have missed something pretty critical there in the hero engagements because not sure what the concession was. But, oh, never mind. I see the two Manticores look like they may have been eliminated or close to it, and these other two are still full health, so... That is probably what the deciding factor was there. But a GG to ODM Razel, winning that series 2-0 against Svertrazum. Very big shout out to Svertrazum as well, though. And let's go get to the next semifinal if they haven't started already. And see who comes up to the final to face off against Razel. All right. Is this who we're waiting for? Random Nix, and yep, Chosen of the Norns. Alright, just messaged them both in Steam, both in Discord. I better get that spec slot. All right, let's update the scoreboard and get right to it. So we have Random Nix in blue. And then we have Han CNR. Because I can't fit Chosen of the Norns in the title card. Random Nix, haven't seen him in a hot minute. Good to see him back in the tournament. And best of luck to him and to Han Chosen and the Norns. looks like we may just be looking, or we may be looking at Chaos versus Beastmen here, so just waiting for them to confirm. And indeed, they did confirm that, so let's get the faction banner updated. Round 1, copy results. Hey, Kelgar Iron Fist. I don't know where the dwarfs are at. You'd be surprised, though. They're actually not that uncommon of a sight. See dwarfs more often than plenty of other factions. I guess by plenty of other factions, I mean like more than Norska. Maybe more than Tomb Kings lately, too, I feel. I feel like I've been seeing Archaon a whole lot lately. Sigvald's still probably a viable option against a Beastman, but Archaon can go toe-to-toe with Torox, where Sigvald not so much. But Sigvald is a tank of the Lord, that's for damn sure. And the only Chaos Lord with any type of healing, so that makes him pretty popular pick just for that alone. I'd be curious to see a player try to go flyer against the Beastman army. I think that would be an interesting way to go. With the Exalted Heroes in the air, they could dominate Manticores. But, once again, enough speculation. Let's get to the fight. See you out there. Random Nyx with the Warriors of Chaos taking on Han, Chosen of the Norns, with the Beastmen. This is round 1 of their best-of-3 semifinal. Alright, starting with the Forces of Chaos, being led by Random Nyx. We have Chaos Marauders. In force, looks like we have 4 of them. We have the Mirror Guard, Chaos Warriors. Also going to be looking at 2 Chosen with Halberds. This guy is absolute cream of the crop. And then we will have the skirmish force as well. Now the skirmishers will consist of Marauder Horsemasters. Looks like we have 2 and 2 for a total of 4. Got 2 Manticores up in the air. We got a Chaos Sorcerer, the Lore of Metal, bringing the Forbidden Rod and Final Transmutation, nothing else. Also the Scroll of Shielding, I lied. Prince Sigvald the Magnificent on the field with Standard Die, Heroic Killing Blow, Slippery, Auric Armor, and of course he is immune to Psychology. Now let's take a look at our red army in the Beastmen being led by Han, Chosen of the Norns. So down here we're going to be seeing an infantry force that's going to be quite small. Only going to have 3 Ungor Spearmen Herd to be precise. This is a very small Beastmen army. We're going to have 2 Centaurs on the right flank, 2 on the left flank. Here in the center, we're going to have a Tuskagore Chariot with a Bray Shaman also on a Tuskagore Chariot. Bray Shaman's going to be bringing Traderkin and the Jagged Dagger. Then we're also going to have a double Gorgon build, ladies and gentlemen. These guys both have regeneration. We also have the Regiment of Renown Blood Brute Behemoth ready to get personal. Torox the Brass Bull is here in the fight as well. It's going to have Brass Body and Blood Beast, along with Rune Tortured Axes, Slaughterer's Call, and Blood Greed. Now that is style. I have not seen a double Gorgon build as of yet, especially against Chaos. Maybe against Vampires I might expect this, but this is going to be very interesting to see. Is he setting a new meta or a new meme? Find out here first, only at the HW League. Marauder Horsemaster is going to be very, very important here. The Manticores also going to be pretty important. We will see how they do. They can still get a lot of damage in with their attack animations. Not any real armor to speak of on top of the Gorgons. But if the Gorgons get on top of the Manticores, they will cut them down to size quite quickly. Their weapon strength up at 572 with a bonus versus large 520 for the regular variant. So yeah, these guys are not messing around. Taking a look here at their bonus versus large, I'm just curious. We'll look at the generic one. 30, so 550 here, and its melee attack goes all the way up to 87 against large units. Which makes sense. It's kind of hard to miss when your entire arm is a blade. I love that they got the little bells around their neck just so they don't get lost. Alright, over here, Horsemasters picking up wins where they can. I like this. Eliminate all the Beastmen Infantry. That will give you a significant advantage. There's 2 Chosen with Halberds here, so the Gorgons, you know, Beastmen are going to have their work cut out for them to get through 2 Chosen with Halberds, I think. Right now, I agree with the balance of power. I think the Beastmen are going to be the ones who have to make the plays. The onus is on them to, you know, win this fight. They're not going to be able to just sit back. And right now, you can already see the Blood Brute taking some decent damage. Traderkin going in. Ooh, Blood Brute narrowly avoiding it. Torox taking the brunt of it, and now he is running away from all of his units to make sure it doesn't hurt anybody else. Very noble of him. Over here, ROR Gorgon already taking a lot of damage, but keep in mind when they're in melee combat, they do have that regeneration. Over here, Chaos Manticores diving into the Beastmen forces. Centaurs were successfully killing off these Marauders, but now Terra kicking in on one of them, and it looks like the engagement's going to go south pretty quickly there for the Beastmen forces. Over here, the Gorgons being kept at bay quite successfully. Final Transmutation did some good damage on top of Torox, but it was still a good micro there to get him out of the blob where, you know, it would have done maximum damage. Over here, more Ungor Spearman herd coming in, and now maybe it's the forces of Chaos who have overextended themselves, as these Manticores are getting hit with Centaurs on multiple sides. Ungor Spearman herd and Torox the Brass Bull is coming in for a piece of them, and boom, one hit, about quarter health taken off of it, and it's immediately rampaging. Torox going to be in his element there, and now the Beastmen, they taste blood in the water. They're coming over here, Gorgon coming in, and both Manticores rampaging. Chaos has no way to prevent them from rampaging, so those guys are going to be stuck on the ground, and it looks like both Gorgon and Torox are going to pick one, and then just start smashing them to pieces. One more big hit from Torox before that one starts to rout. Over here, Gorgons and Torox now both all going after Sigvald, but over here, a final transmutation coming in. Oh, it got canceled because the chariot hit the Chaos Sorcerer of Metal. Very clutch play here from our Beastman player. The Tuskor chariots are going to pay the ultimate price, though, as the Marauder Horsemasters fill them full of javelins, and there's only one model left right now. Here comes an, I'm guessing, yeah, final transmutation, but not Overcast, actually. And right now, the Beastmen are just playing defense. While they try to eliminate Sigvald, they're using all of their other forces to tie up the Chosen, to tie up the Mirror Guard, and keep them as far away as possible, because I think rightly so, he's thinking that if he kills Sigvald, this battle's over. And I would agree. If he kills Sigvald, the battle's over. The Blood Brute Behemoth just murdering the Manticore. And balance of power is going to Beastmen. Chosen with Halberd still alive and well, though. And, you know, Traderkins, I'm imagining, are going to be what they're trying to pull him down with. Here comes a Traderkin, upgraded, increased the damage. It hit both of the Chosen with Halberds. And now Sigvald is routing, and oh my goodness, balance of power going back. Oh, sorry, it was actually in favor of Chaos there. It's going to the Beastmen now. And Sigvald the Magnificent is dead. Leadership penalty going to kick in across the board for the Chaos Forces. Over here, this Gorgon getting chased off by the Marauder Horsemasters. And Chaos isn't out of this yet. They still have a Sorcerer here to provide some leadership support. They still have a lot of good infantry left. There's no infantry left for the Beastmen for the most part. There's some tattered spearmen right here. One of them shattered, and the other one here is routing, and I think with its leadership... Okay, never mind. They just regrouped. They have 2 leadership, so we'll see if they can hang in there. But even if they do, a strong breeze will blow them off the map, and it's going to be up to the Beastmen at this point to somehow eliminate the rest of this Chaos infantry force. And it looks like the Horsemasters are using their ammunition very well. They still have enough to eliminate these Gorgons. One of them is routing, close to being killed. Only 1,500 HP left on that bad boy. And we will see. It's all going to come down to how well they use their javelins. And it looks like they're actually, for a second there, changed their targets to the Bray Shaman. But Gorgon going to go down, being really dramatic about it. But then again, he did get stabbed a whole lot. And looks like Torox and the other Gorgon coming in to try and chase these guys off now. The Chosen with Halberds getting a charge from the Gorgon there for a second. Over here, Traderkin coming in, hitting some of these units. Gorgon turning around to hit the Chosen with Halberds. And now we're going to be seeing all of the Marauder Horsemasters coming in here, throwing all of their javelins. Torox popping his explosion ability, and this is where everybody's just, it looks like they're both investing in everything. They got Chosen terror routing, other Chosen with Halberd still in good health though, so they are not going to be so easily routed. Mirror Guard starting to get low on leadership and on health, but there's some more Chaff infantry, Chaos Marauders coming in here to meet shield. Torox and Gorgon desperately trying to get these guys routed, but yeah, they need to get out of here now. We have Centaurs coming in for a rear charge. Every little bit's going to help, and now it's going to give an opportunity to the Blood Brute to come out into the backlines and try and get on top of these Marauder Horsemasters. Centaurs supporting them, and man, this is a close fight. I'm very curious to see if we see another final transmutation in the near future here, because one more of those in this game could be over, and it looks like it could be over without it, because one of the Marauder Horsemasters still has ammunition, and it looks to me like the Blood Brute Behemoth is about to go down for the count, possibly with this next volley, and that's going to be a GG, well played. Random Nicks taking the victory with Chaos. But some very nice plays from the Beastmen here. And I was wrong. Sigvald dying didn't affect the outcome of the battle too much. You know, these guys all performing well. The generic one getting shut down pretty hard there. And, you know, it is just a risky play. I think if you're going this way, you probably want some Poison Warhounds, anything to help you deal with Marauder Horsemasters, because if they dealt with the Marauder Horsemasters, I think they could have had that. But they never really effectively dealt with them. Pretty much all of the Horsemasters use all their ammunition, and as a result, both of the Gorgons got torn down in the end. So, GG, well played. Sigvald getting shut down pretty hard, though. Same with the Manticores. The Manticores just got into a bad engagement, and then boom, they were history. Historical Waifus. Torox is a lesson in accepting gifts from strangers, but only if you eat them and go on a year-long massacre party. Sigvald getting splattered by Torox is just as good as his canonical death. Yeah, honestly, yeah. Because it's Throg who kills him, right? Yeah, Sigvald doesn't cost too much. That's one of his strengths. Oak and Hammer does seem to be a player favorite when it comes to maps being picked. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to go take a quick bio break while the players make their picks. So I'll be right back. Don't you go anywhere. We're back. The Mihawk, hello to you as well. GS, I'm so sorry, Butcher Bird, that I'm streaming while you're at work. I did it on purpose. I called your boss and asked if you were working. I'm like, cool, I'm going to stream right now then. Alright, these guys taking a hot minute there. Give them another 30 seconds before I throw in that warning. Alright, looks like we are ready. And in we go. Random Nix is readied up. Chose Lenoran saying good luck too. And we're getting into it. So I'll see you all on the battlefield. There goes the intro card. Alright, Random Nix on match point, leading 1-0 so far. He has a Lizardman and he will be taking on Han CNR with the Wood Elves in this round. Alright, the map will be Oakenhammer, and we're going to go start with our red player this time. So, bringing the Wood Elves, chosen of the Norns, will have an infantry force that consists of Eternal Guard with shields. Looks like we have 4 of them. We're going to have 3 regular Dryads and the Wraiths of the Frozen Heart Regiment of Renowned Dryads. We'll come back to the Hero Squad in just a moment, but it does look like a Branch Wraith and Dryka. For the missile units, we were going to have 3 Glade Guard with Starfire Shafts. We have some Wild Riders with shields, 2 of them on the right flank. Looking like they're going to be deployed soon. And then vanguarded up front, we're going to have Glade Riders with spears. Now, for the leadership of this army, as I mentioned earlier, it does look like a Branch Wraith, and I lied, it's not Dryka. So it's going to be a Branch Wraith with Earthblood, Melkoth, Mystify Miasma, and the Scroll of Shielding. Now we're going to have a Glade Lord. Glade Lord will be bringing Helm of Discord and the Banner of the Hunter King. And he is going to be riding a horse. So very interesting here from the Wood Elf player with the hero picks. Now going over to our Lizardmen in blue, led by Random Nix, who, as a reminder, is on match point. He's going to have a front line consisting of Saurus Warriors with shields. Looks like we have 4 of them. Going to have 2 Chameleon Stalkers on the left flank. Here in the second row, we're going to have Skink Cohort, all of them with javelins. In the back line, we're going to be seeing a 5th Saurus Warrior with shields. We're also going to be seeing a Bastiladon with a solar engine. 2 Skink Skirmishers, a Saurus Spear with shields on the left flank, and then we're going to be seeing a Skink Chief over here as well to lend his support to the skirmishing efforts. We're going to see a Skink Priest of Beast with Transformation of Gadon to summon that Manticore, and the Amber Spear. And for the Lizardman leader, who I haven't seen as of yet, this is why I haven't seen him. He's a very, very sneaky chameleon, perhaps the sneakiest chameleon ever. Oxyotl. Coming into battle with the Golden Blowpipe of Patui, Master Predator, Slippery, and that's going to be it. I'm going to start by popping some shots off at the Glade Riders, killing 3 models with 1 shot, and now the Chameleon Stalker is going to let off a volley and kill off a whole lot more of them. So far, nice little pickups from the Lizardmen. Solar Engine looks like it's ready to get involved here too. So we'll see what it targets first, and it looks like it's trying to ward off these Glade Riders with spears. Skink Cohort with javelins also going after it, but looks like they're going to think twice. I was about to mention that they're getting a bit isolated, and the Wild Riders look like they're coming in for a fun sandwich with the Glade Rider spears, and it looks like that's going to happen anyways, but Skink Cohort with javelins going to just face it and get off a volley of javelins before they bite the dust. And this does open up an opportunity for the Solar Engine if it gets one nice shot here. It looks like it's not firing, though, because the Skink cohort are in the way. And that's a pain in the ass, because this is a beautiful opportunity to get that shot down the line. But there it goes. Boom. We're going to get some nice damage on top of both of the Cav units. In comes an Earthblood to try to counteract that damage. Manticore summon coming in from the Lizardmen now. Oxyotl and the Chameleon Stalkers continuing to push on the left flank, and now the Saurus Warriors are coming out to play, and these guys should have a field day. Over here, getting into combat with the Eternal Guard with shields, and the Dryads as well. The ROR even losing quite convincingly to the Saurus Warriors with shields. There are skirmishers firing in there as well, so not an exact one-to-one engagement. Over here, we're seeing the Lizardman Manticore summon on top of the Glade Lord. The Glade Guard with Starfire Shafts are firing in there. Looks like they're targeting the Saurus Warriors. Glade Riders coming in for a rear charge as well, and those Saurus Warriors will be breaking here. Solar Engine continuing to hit these high-value targets. The Wild Riders taking a lot of damage, sitting there idle, looking like a beautiful target. As you can see, it looks like that single shot killed off 5 models. Helm of Discord has been popped over here, and the Wood Elves winning big here on the left flank, but will they be able to capitalize on it? Over here, the Lizardmen doing very well on the left flank engagements. They've won against the cavalry. They are effectively skirmishing these infantry units to death. I really like what he's doing here. You can see the Skink Skirmishers just continuing to kind of reform, so the spears reveal their flanks without the shields, and the Skink Skirmishers are just pumping them full of blow darts right now. Those are looking pretty strong here as we approach the mid-game. The Wild Riders and Glade Riders desperately trying to get something going here as they bounce around in the back lines. Looks like they may be able to regroup with some Eternal Guard with shields, and they desperately need the infantry support. They also have some Dryads on the other side, so it looks like they will be able to kill the Chameleon Stalkers and perhaps the Skink cohort with javelins, but Saurus Spears coming in to support, and they are going to be just what the Doctor ordered for the Lizardmen in that engagement. And then we have more Skink cohort diving into combat from the other side, so it looks like the Lizardmen, right when the Wood Elves were starting to pull that engagement in their favor, sent in reinforcements, and now Wood Elves are running out of steam. Over here, Glade Lord with the Eternal Guard and the Branch Wraith continuing to push hard, trying to wrap around and envelop the flanks. Over here, Glade Guard getting a nice charge, disrupting the Saurus Warriors so they won't be braced as the Eternal Guard come in for their charge. Oxyotl firing away. The Glade Lord is danger close to dying. Here comes the second and final Manticore summon from the Lizardmen, and that's going to make the balance of power go even further in their favor. And I'm guessing it's going to dive right in here on top of the Glade Lord, but man, it may not even be there for him. Scroll of Shielding going down, maybe too little too late. Manticore looks like it's going headhunting for him, but I don't think the Glade Lord needs to be worried about really at this point. He only has 298 health, and Solar Engine probably going to kill him there, but no, going to be a little bit of a miss. Manticore getting on top of him, boom. Insurance policy, the Lizardmen killing off the Wood Elf Lord. That's going to really hurt the leadership across the board for this Wood Elf army. In the backlines, you can see the Saurus Spears have taken a ton of damage. The Glade Guard with Starfire Shafts firing in as they are tied up with the Wood Elf Infantry, and it looks like they are going to successfully eliminate them, but just don't see how this goes to the Wood Elves. Looks like army losses will be kicking in, and Oxyotl will lead his Lizardman force to victory. And Random Nix, our other semi-finalist, also going to win 2-0 to go to the final and face off against ODM Razel. But a huge shout out to Han Chosen of the Norns for some great plays, some cool builds. Always a pleasure to see him representing the China clan. And then we have Random Nix over here just playing very, very well. I'm excited to see him and Razel duke it out in the final. So let's go ahead and get to that and have some more juicy action for all you lovely folks. You've missed 4 games, so 2 best of 3s, both were 2-0. Alright, just tagged a Razel. Alright, they just said the lobby is up, so where are you at, lobby? Alright, we got the blocker up, and here we are. So let's go ahead and update the scoreboard, make it 0-0 once again, and I'm going to grab our blue player's name, throw it to the other side. Hey, Ratsputino. Good evening to you as well. And I don't know why I just read the first part of your message, even though I answered the second part of your message earlier in the stream. But yeah, nonetheless, good to have you. And Stout Keg, same to you. Don't know if I've seen... Oh, no, you've been in here. I just haven't caught your name here yet. So who's everybody's money on? ODM Razel or Random Nicks? Both of these guys winning their respective semifinals 2-0. So should be a good fight. Best 3. Alright, I'm checking the bracket really quick. Let's do that. In fact, we can throw on that display capture. Take a quick look at these two players and their paths to victory. So starting with Razel in the top bracket, looks like he worked his way up from Zakowin, or I apologize, I'm butchering that, but yeah, Zakowin. He then went on to defeat Artisan Tex Priest, VM Dark Phoenix, and Svertrazum, which is what we watched for the first battle today. And as you may have noticed, every single one of those battles was a 2-0 victory. Now, going now to Random Nicks, we're going to see that he started out against RTK Charix, who is a very good player. He won 2-1 there. Random Nicks then defeated ODM Hanadins. If I recall, they were tied 1-1, and Hanadins had PC issues, so he conceded. But forgive me if I'm mistaken, but I believe that's what happened there. Random Nicks versus Dr. Jellyfish was a 2-0 victory, and then he defeated Han Chosen of the Norns, also Abeknir, as I sometimes say, even though I think it's Bay CNR or something like that. But anyways, and now he is up here against Razel. So get ready for the final. Their map pool is right here, as we can see. Okay, or not see. But Gorgigzan, Karakungor, MP Alpine Ridge, Eshin, the Ogham Shard, Cliff of Beast, tiebreaker will be Iron Sand Desert. Alright, Eshin is the pick. I love Eshin. It's a good map. Warhammer 1 vibes for sure. ODM Razel saying he's going to go with Beastmen and Dark Elves for his first picks. See, we got some Razel fans in here. His ODM clanmates. Hanniden's rooting him on. Sorry about the PC issues, by the way. Or internet issues, I'm not sure which they were. That is a spooky combo, to be honest, now that I'm looking at it. That is kind of a spooky combo. Beastmen and Dark Elves. I'm trying to think what I would pick there. Maybe Vampire Coast. Internet, damn. I'm sorry, man. And so, if I'm remembering right, yeah, so you were fighting random nicks. So if you, theoretically, if your internet wasn't cruddy, you potentially could have won and been fighting an ODM Civil War up here. I'm sorry, man. Next time, indeed, that's the spirit. Chaos, actually. There's a good one. I was thinking like Vampire Coast or Chaos. If I was a good Tomb King player, I would do Tomb Kings. I think that would also not be bad. Oh, damn, it happened in the middle of your game? Oh, that sucks. Yeah, Warriors of Chaos. Vampire counts if you're a good player. I think you can maybe feel comfortable going into those two. You missed the first two semifinals, so both of which were 2-0 victories. And now we are beginning the final here, 0-0, between ODM Razel and Random Nicks. So just go ahead and check out the VOD after the stream is done, and you can see what happened in those semifinals, because they were all good matches. Don't let the 2-0 thing make you think they were, you know, super stomps or anything like that, because they were close. Alright, Random Nicks went Dark Elves, Razel going Beastmen, alright, rather than opting for the Mirror. Now, blue faction, let's get the Dark Elves up there. Red faction, let's get ourselves Dark Elves, and then I'm going to go update the faction banner for the intro card. Do favor Beastmen here, but a good Dark Elf player can pull it off against a Rush faction, no doubt. They have the Manticores that they can use too. They also just have that, you know, really, really effective spell known as Soul Stealer. And when they use a Soul Stealer on top of a Taurox blob, you know, they can get a ton of value and really turn the tide of the battle quickly. This is a matchup I would definitely favor Marathi in, but you know, I've seen plenty of people bring Malekith. Even some people bringing Malice Darkblade, but that's not something you see too often. Malice Darkblade is definitely a niche legendary lord, but you do see him from time to time. Otherwise, I think a Supreme Sorceress of some type could be very viable against the Beastmen as well. Just keep her on a Dark Pegasus flying around, and they can do quite a lot of work, and they're very cost effective, so you can focus on bringing a bit of a bigger army, so you can try to just, outgrind the Beastmen, because Beastmen are still a faction very much that, in spite of their recent buffs, if you can outlast him, if you can bring him into the late game, then you can usually win it, because their leadership can be broken. But still, I think the Beastmen are just pretty good against all the elf factions. I think Wood Elves is probably the best elf matchup against Beastmen, but maybe Dark Elves would be that. But High Elves definitely, I say, struggle against Beastmen. My mic has been silent. Sorry, let me get closer to it. Check, 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 check. I just don't want it picking up all the background noise. Just turned it up a little bit. Who beat Ice Power? Good question. Let's. Oh. Looks like it was. Did Ice Power even play today? I don't see him here. I don't know if he played today, man. All right, Razel has readied up. Random Nick's still putting his army together. By the way, Morkoth, let me know if the mic issue was a bit better now, or if it's still too quiet. All right, both players readying up. I'll see you on the battlefield. Alright, ODM Razel with the Beastmen versus Random Nicks and the Dark Elves in round 1 of their best of 3 final. This is the third tournament of the HW League Season 9. This will decide which one of them secures a position in the playoffs and which one will have to settle for second place, but still getting quite a boost in the leaderboard, I have no doubt, based on their performance so far in today's tournament. Holy hell, the balance of power really not liking the Dark Elf's chances in this fight. It's one of the more lopsided balance of powers I've seen. But obviously can't let it get to your head if you're the player. Because if you can get it to even, then your opponent's mind may start to falter. Alright, ODM Pantalinade rooting for his clanmate as well. Any Razel fan, or sorry, any Random Nicks fans in the house, make yourself known. Show some love, show some support. ODM giving all the love here to their clanmate. Alright, taking a look at our red army after a very curious glance at the Dark Elf army, because I find it intriguing. Looks like we're going to be seeing 5 Ungor Spearmen herd. We're going to be looking at 2 Centigores, 3 Centigores with throwing axes, Tuskgore Chariot, Razor Gore herd, 2 Feral Manticores up in the air, Down on the ground, the usual Beastman kit with the Bray Shaman of Wild, Traderkin, Gore Bull, and Torox the Brass Bull. So, going on to our Dark Elf army, we are going to be seeing Dread Spears, 1, 2, 3 of them, one of which will be the Helebroni. We have 2 Bleak Swords, 2 Blackguard and Nagarond, the only immune to psychology halberds. Very, very great unit. Can play a role similar to the Chosen in that previous Chaos matchup. Up in the air, we do have the 2 Feral Manticores. We got Dark Shards here in the front line for a bit of missile support, and then for further missile support, we have the Ravens Heralds, Regiment of Renown Repeater Crossbows, and if the Dark Elves play it right, they can absolutely dominate some of the units on the battlefield here. 2 Scourge Runner Chariots down here for additional skirmishing power and some anti-infantry power in the late game. And leading the Dark Elf forces up in the air on top of her Dark Pegasus, we are going to be seeing Morathi. She's going to be bringing the Wand of Caridon for that bound Doombolt. She's also bringing Soul Stealer, per usual, Enchanting Beauty, Heartrender in the Dark Sword, and Greater Arcane Conduit. Spiteful Conjuration going to be on top of there too for that negative 15 armor. Debuff to all enemies map wide whenever she is casting. So that rounds out both of our players' armies, and let's see what happens here on the battlefield. Alright, the Mihawk rooting for Random Nicks. We got both sides of the battlefield here being supported in the chat. I like to see it. And let's see which one of you guys get to do some smack talk afterwards. Some polite and friendly smack talk, but you know what I mean. I do like what the Dark Elves are doing here. Not looking for a head-on engagement. They're deploying very much on a far wing of the map on one of the hills. So the Beastmen, you know, as we can see, they're vanguarded. They're ready to rush in and take names. But the Dark Elves look like they're going to be going for a style where they're going to try to refuse the infantry engagement while they work with the Scourge Runner Chariots and the Flyers to snipe down some key units. But we will see if it pays off. These 3 throwing axes and the 2 Manticores will definitely have to work together, and the Dark Elves are going to have to be very wary of any Traderkins, since that is basically their counter now to Soul Stealers. Rogelio Alonso, I seem to remember that as well, but not certain, so I won't say. Alright, and here they go. Dark Elf Flyers going to be moving out, as well as their infantry, interestingly. Beastmen are already getting the order to just move over here. Looks like we're going to be seeing the Ungor Spearmen going to be pushing right away towards the Beastmen infantry. Scourge Runner Chariots coming forward to do some kiting against the Centaurs with throwing axes, trying to shoot them down with their bonus versus large ammunition. Absolutely going to be a good play. They need to eliminate Centaurs with throwing axes and Manticores. If they can eliminate those 2 ingredients, they'll have a very nice advantage over the Beastmen army, but they have to do it sooner rather than later before the Beastmen could potentially overwhelm their lines. But I think the 2 Blackguard and Nagarond in this Dark Elf army are going to add a bit of backbone. I think it will be tough, based on what I see in the Beastmen army, for them to get rid of them, so long as the throwing axes are occupied with flying units that they're trying to ward off. Right now, the Ravens Heralds pushing forward, perhaps a bit recklessly, going right after the caster. There's a throwing axe right nearby him. There's another one coming in. Traderkin going down, going to debuff their speed, but so far they're doing a very good job of dodging any incoming missile fire. Right now, Morathi and the Feral Manticore is going out, seeking an opportunity to try and kill that isolated Manticore, but there are still throwing axes on the ground nearby to support. Raven Herald's getting close to half health after that Traderkin coming in on top of him. But now the Bray Shaman getting really reckless, overextending way too much, and I don't know where he's going. It looks like it was a misclick, as our blue player is now turning him around, seeing those Scourge Runner Chariots and the Raven Heralds getting a lot of damage there because of that little mistake. Over here, Soul Stealer coming down, going to be hitting some of the Centaurs. It looks like 2 of the Centaurs being hit. And now Marathi looking like she's in a pretty good spot. Balance of power definitely going back towards the Dark Elves a lot more now. And the Raven Heralds are being, given free reign at this point to just go after the Bray Shaman of Wild. I would like to see them get a lot more aggressive and just fly right over the top of them and just get like point blank range shots in, because it would prevent her from being able, or prevent the Bray Shaman from being able to get so much damage. And right now, that's going to be a big loss for the Dark Elves. It might seem small, but I mean, they had a chance there to eliminate the Bray Shaman, and if Bray Shaman stays alive here into the late game, then the Dark Elves are really, really going to regret it, no doubt about it. Over here, Centaur is getting into the cookie jar, trying to hit these dark shards and get rear charges on other units. Marathi and both Manticores are on the ground. They have the Blackguard and Naggarond over here in the front line winning that infantry engagement, and they may be able to turn around. And then on the other side, you have the second Blackguard and Naggarond getting into the engagement. And the Beastmen need to get out of here. You're going to be seeing another Soul Stealer coming in here from Marathi. One of the Manticores is getting dominated by the Gorbel and Torox, but for the most part, I stand by that whenever the infantry is supporting the large units in combat, the unit with the infantry is going to win. So in this case, the Dark Elves have the Blackguard and Naggarond in there supporting them in this combat. Torox the Brass Bull and the Gorbel are going to need to get out of there sooner rather than later, because as you can see, they are starting to lose health. They are debuffed significantly by Marathi, but now Marathi is taking a pounding by the Gorbel, and she is going to be terror routing and running as fast as she can. It should be a good route for her, though. Get her up in the air, get her to safety. And right now, Torox is wavering as both of the Dark Elf Manticores are just on top of him. Blackguard and Naggarond continuing to press in. And this is a close fight, but the Dark Elves now have the balance of power in their favor as they're winning the infantry engagements. The Raven Heralds have come back, and it looks like they're here to exact revenge on the Bray Shaman that nearly killed them off completely. But we will see. Once again, want to see them being microed a bit more to get on top of these units so they can just get nice, good shots off immediately. Over here, Marathi getting another Soul Stealer, getting the final laugh, killing off Torox the Brass Bull. She's killing off the Gorbel, and that's going to be a GG for the Dark Elves. And Random Nix, very well played. ODM Razel, also very well played, but man, super, super close. Both of these players just exploiting each other's mistakes mercilessly throughout the fight. But, this was an interesting build. I liked it. I think the Raven Heralds left me wanting a bit. Not because I don't like them in the build. I actually think that's a cool pick. And I could see it playing off very well because, like I said, they are very good at sniping down shamans, especially on a chariot big target like that. And my only complaint was that they weren't microed a little bit better. I would have liked to have seen them. They have the speed. They're super fast, just flying directly over the Bray Shaman and shooting down just like as close as possible to him, and you would see so much damage, like 3 volleys of that, and I think that Bray Shaman may die. I'd have to test that to make sure I'm not a liar, but for now I'm just going to say it, hyperbolic or not. But yeah, beautiful stuff. Yeah, GG indeed to both of these players. I mean, throwing axe is being used well. They were, having to ward off the Raven Heralds for a lot of the battle. Torox and Gorbel still getting some good damage, but Soul Stealer coming out on top there, and, just very well played to both players. I'm excited to see round 2. Let's throw up that army blocker and update the scoreboard. All right, I will be right back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go get my lunch ready while these two players get their picks sorted. So bear with us. We will be into the next round soon. And if you need to take a bathroom break, grab a snack, grab a drink, now is a good time to do it. I will see you momentarily. Alright, we are back. We just had a recent bout of the hiccups, so I think I got rid of them. But if I start hiccuping in the battle, my apologies in advance. So here we are, Random Nyx with the Skaven, taking on Odium Razel and the Warriors of Chaos. Absolutely love this matchup, and should be quite even. There's the map, Karak Ungor. I'm going to throw up these intro cards as we load into the battle. So, round 2, Odium Razel versus Random Nyx. Warriors of Chaos versus Skaven, respectively. And it is match point for Random Nyx right now, as he is leading 1-0 in this best of 3 final. Alright, here we go, starting off with our red player on match point, Random Nyx. He's bringing the Skaven, and he will have 3 Skaven Slingers to start off with. Looks like the Regiment of Renown Death Globe Mortars. These will be the Avalanche Mortars. Now we are going to be looking at a Skaven Infantry force consisting of Skaven Slaves. Looks like we have 2 of them that I can see. 3? Yeah, 3 of them. We then have some clan rats with spears, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, as well as a regular old clan rat back here. And then we're going to have some elite infantry here in the form of storm vermin with halberds. So it looks like we have 1 of them, 2 of them, and 3 of them. The third will be the Council Guard Unbreakable Regiment of Renown. Now we're going to be looking at rat ogres. Looks like we have 2 of them down here on the field. And I think that rounds out our army. And I lied, there was 2 regular clan rats and 4 with spears. For the leadership, we have a Gracier of Plague. He's going to be bringing Vermintide, the dreaded 13th spell, and Unholy Clamor. I do believe that rounds out the Skaven army. Single Lord / Hero faction build. Now, for the Forces of Chaos, frontline will consist of Marauders. Looks like we have 5 of them. They're going to be backed up by 2 Forsaken, 1 on either flank, and a unit of Chaos Spawn. It does look like we're going to have 2 Chaos Chariots also split on either flank. Up in the air, we have a Feral Manticore and a Chaos Sorcerer of Fire leading this army. He's in a Burning Head, Fireball, and Kindle Flame. Down on the ground, we have Prince Sigvald the Magnificent bringing Stand or Die, Heroic Killing Blow, Auric Armor, and that's going to be it. Oh man, look at that guy's little face on the side of his face. Yeah. Alrighty. Other than this Chaos Force will be bringing some Marauder Horsemasters. Looks like Marauder Horsemen, 1 of each on... Okay, so 3 Marauder Horsemen, 1 Horsemaster. Then we are going to have Chaos Warhounds with Poison out here in the open Vanguard deployed. And I think Chaos player here, Odium Razel, is ready. And our Skaven player is just about there. Chaos Infantry going to find themselves a bit outmatched here. I think the 3 Vermin with halberds will be very effective, and even the Forsaken won't do very well against them since they don't have much armor piercing. Storm Vermin, on the other hand, do have armor piercing, and should be able to beat them with enough time. I didn't notice that the Pit Fighters of Hell's Deep are in this army as well. The Regiment of Renown Rat Ogres. These guys are immune to psychology and do have the rage mechanic. Chaos Missile Cavalry going to be coming out here onto the wings, just throwing in some javelins, getting a little damage here, a little there. Avalanche mortars in the meantime have begun opening fire into the Chaos ranks, already doing quite a lot of damage to those Marauders, and we will see if they start switching up their targeting here to perhaps the Forsaken or some of the cavalry. Over here, Fireball coming in, and wow, that was beautifully aimed by the Chaos Sorcerer, going right through the Avalanche mortars, killing some models, a lot of models. There's only 4 mortars left. That is insane. Over here, Burning Head, meanwhile, coming in from Chaos. Looks like it did a lot of damage to Skaven slaves, but didn't really do anything to the Storm Vermin with halberds for the most part, and it's going to be doing a little bit of friendly fire, but peter out just before it gets done, too much damage done. Fireball coming in again, going to kill another Avalanche mortar, and that is going to be painful for the Skaven player here. That's a lot of money invested in the Avalanche mortars, and they are getting eliminated quite convincingly by the Chaos Skirmishers, and the fireballs from the caster have just been devastating. Oh, we're going to open fire on the caster, perhaps an act of desperation, and here come the Pit Fighters of Hell's Deep, though, getting into the Marauder Horsemen, who are going to swiftly turn away and try to run. Right now, balance of power is still quite even. Forsaken coming in, hitting these Rat Ogres in the back. Rat Ogres without the charge will be in a precarious position, but now there's a Storm Vermin summon coming into support, as well as the other unit of regular Storm Vermin. Over here, this Storm Vermin down to about half health, but the Council Guard haven't even been engaged yet, and so Chaos going to have to start getting some work done here if they don't want to find themselves, stuck with monsters versus halberds in the late game. Over here, Gracier Plague having a good old time. One of the Chaos Chariots is routing. But man, this is just crazy close. Over here, 2 Marauder Horsemen going to be getting a very good engagement here, sniping down the Pit Fighters of Hell's Deep, getting nice back shots into them. They still have 12 models, but they are distracted by the Forsaken right now, who they're in combat with. Unholy Clamor seeming to keep their leadership quite high, though. Skaven are kind of splitting up into nice little pods of just units that are chasing around. Got some Clan Rat Spears over here, looking like they may get a chance to catch some of these Marauder Horsemen for a moment at least. Micro is not on top of it, so they are going to start taking some damage, but the Chaos Sorcerer of Fire coming in here, getting a beautiful terror out on his Manticore, and Chaos still has their leadership very alive and well here. So does Skaven, so this is a close fight. It can go either way, no doubt. Over here, though, some of the Chaos Chariots, the remaining ones, have been pinned in place by Rat Ogres, it seems, and there's now Storm Vermin on top of them, and that's going to be quite a blow to the Chaos efforts. They really need some chariot, some anti-infantry power here in the late game, whereas now it does appear that it's going to be, just all Chaos mobility and single entities against the Skaven halberds. But Horsemen and Horsemasters still have some good ammunition that should allow them to potentially snipe down the Gracier Plague, or at the very least the Rat Ogres. Storm Vermin with halberds can take some damage there too, but with 90 armor, don't know if it'll be the most cost-effective trade for them. Here comes a nice Burning Head, though, that Skaven look like they're going to take right to the face, and that's going to be a painful one. Alright, this is just madness. Sigvald Magnificent sitting in the middle of combat, doing just fine because he's Sigvald. He has standard eye pop for that leadership and melee defense buff. Over here, Rat Ogre's finally killing off the Forsaken there. But this is, yeah, Chaos getting the balance of power once again. ODM Razel fighting for his life here to bring it to the tiebreaker. Marauder Horseman on the flanks, getting some nice concave formation and hitting all of these guys, just getting a good crossfire. As you can see, the Pit Fighters of Hell's Deep are going down very quickly to that combined fire. But they're almost out of ammunition now. And Greyseer of Plague, I suppose, can be dealt with by the Great Chaos Sorcerer of Fire. But, yeah, I just don't know. You have an Unbreakable unit here, the Skaven hero who's still alive, and you still have the 2 halberds, you know, just like there to support him. Meanwhile, over here, the 3rd halberd, it's tattered but coming back, and you have a lot of the Skaven infantry, the low-tier infantry, coming back into the engagement now too. Over here, Pit Fighters of Hell's Deep are rampaging on top of Prince Sigvald. That's probably going to be the end of them. And I don't know, unless Skaven gets something going quick, I think we're going to a game 3. Over here, we got some more Clan Rat summons coming in. Nicely placed to get on top of some of these Marauder Horsemen that were trying to retreat. Here comes another Burning Head, though. I think this one's a mistake, in my opinion, though. You just wasted a Burning Head, 13 Winds of Magic to kill off a Skaven Slave and a Clan Rat. You got the Shatter for sure, but I think that was a misspend. You probably want to save your magic for Fireballs for the Lord, or overcast Burning Heads on top of the Storm Vermin, where they can do a little bit of armor piercing. Over here, Council Guard trying to chase the Manticores, but, you know, at the moment it just looks like the Skaven army is a bit hamstrung. Didn't have much mobility to begin with, and now that they've lost their Rat Ogres, yeah, it looks like across the board the Rat Ogres are done for. It's going to be really tough. They don't have the mass anymore to pin Manticores in place to do anything like that, so the Rat Ogres being dealt with is, I'm sure, giving the Chaos player here, Razel, he's taking a sigh of relief. There goes the Fireball. Going to be hitting. Oh, it misses the Lord. That must have been some weird, like, targeting the character mechanic, and then it, like, flew through the loop while he was swinging on his bell. Very Matrix of the Greyseer of Plague right there, but hey, it happens. Manticore is going to start rampaging, and this could be bad for Chaos. They have no way to stop it from raging. It's on top of 3 halberds, and it is taking so much damage so quickly. Right now, Sigvald looks like he's getting ready to, you know, hit here, but Burning Head going to be coming through. That's going through a very densely packed formation of Storm Vermin with halberds, and that's done a ton of damage. Terror kicking in on top of one of the halberds here, and that was absolutely devastating. The Marauder Horsemen coming in for a rear charge. I think that's going to allow the Manticore to, you know, get some breathing room, and ladies and gentlemen, we're going to round 3. ODM Razel bringing it to 1-1. So here we have it. Sigvald at 1,600 value, basically 1,700. 2,600 and 343 kills on the Chaos Sorcerer of Fire. Marauders doing what they needed to do. Forsaken. I mean, the infantry from the Chaos did suffer pretty hard there, but the skirmishers and the flyer were able to win it out in the end there. So coming over here to the Skaven army, halberds, an interesting choice. I like to see that. I don't see it too often, and I think 3 is, you know, very expensive, risky choice, but at the end of the day, the only thing I would have liked to have seen would maybe be like at least some wolf rats in here, just for a little extra mobility, some poison, something like that. The Avalanche Mortar is not a bad pick, but unfortunately the Chaos Sorcerer here was just, he had their number. Shooting those fireballs down the line, they're hard to stay on top of and make sure you're dodging them. But yeah, if they get a fireball fired parallel to your line, it is devastating. It can just go down the entire line and kill so many models with one shot. And here you have it, folks. Told you it would be a good match. These two players are giving us our first tiebreaker of the day since they won their semifinals 2-0. So always good to see a tiebreaker. And this will be pick 3 ban 1 system for the tiebreaker. So looks like it will be Razel's turn since he is the winner of round 2. He will pick 3 factions and ban 1 faction. Then we'll go to Random Nix, who will ban one of the 3 factions and pick a faction. And then we'll go back to Razel, who will pick from his 2 remaining factions. Yeah, very good burning heads. What's going on here? I think that was a typo in the challenge, but I will review later. Yeah, Undead Blink, I will. So this is Season 9, which will be the last season of the HW League played on Warhammer 2. So Season 10 of the League will be on Warhammer 3. And I believe same for the Fresh Recruit League, I think there will be one more. We're on Season 7 of the Fresh Recruit League. So I think we may do Season 8, since the Fresh Recruit Leagues are a little bit shorter, on Warhammer 2, and then do the 9th season of the Fresh Recruit League in Warhammer 3. So yeah, going to definitely continue to do these into Warhammer 3. Nader Fiend, welcome, welcome, good to see you. Yep, no problem. And Undead Blank, welcome to the stream. How do I join Fresh Recruit? Rogelio Alonso. You join the Discord, which you can do just by tapping an ! Discord. And, is it going to post? Yeah, there you go. Does that link still work? It better. Yeah, it does still work. So yeah, you join there. You can go to the Fresh Recruit League channel, the channel in the Discord there, and you just say I want a Fresh Recruit role, and we assign it. It's a Discord role, and then you'll get chattered on all the Fresh Recruit tournaments that happen every Sunday. So we got one coming up tomorrow. If you want to sign up for that, the link will be in the Discord under announcements. Dark Elves, Lizardmen, Skaven, banning Beastmen from random nicks. $8 a.m. Pacific time. So 8 a.m. Pacific, I believe, is 1500 or 3 p.m. GMT, so Greenwich Mean Time, if memory serves me right. But yeah, just type it into Google. It's 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And actually, I'll just throw up the link really quick for y'all too. There you go, my friends. Looks like we have 12 fresh recruits signed up for tomorrow's tournament. Yes, sir. They are open right up until the tournament starts. Check-in opens 2 hours before the tournament, so you do have to check in to confirm that you're there before the tournament starts. Otherwise, it will boot you from the bracket. All right, we got Chaos being picked by Random Nix, and he is going to ban Dark Elves. Lizardmen or Skaven, and Razel's picking Skaven this time. Whoa, the reverse matchup of what we just saw. Can Razel show him how Skaven beat Chaos, or are we going to see a repeat of the last battle, except this time with Razel being on the receiving end of the Chaos onslaught? Interesting stuff, guys. I see you want to show me how it's done, says Random Nix. Yeah, head game move for sure. Let's update that faction banner to the Skaven before I forget. Yeah, of course, I'm Dead Blank. Hope to see you there. All right, we got our factions finalized, ladies and gentlemen. We know what we're going to watch in the tiebreaker for the final. Skaven versus Chaos once again. Whereas last time we watched Chaos versus Skaven, just to keep things clear. Yep, of course, man. I'm super happy that you did so. Hope you do well. Good luck and have fun. And just remember, water off a duck. If you lose, don't let it get you down. No, no mods. Just playing on the live build. No mods or anything like that. Excited to go over the Skaven army for you. I can't see the Chaos army yet, but definitely a different approach here from Razel. Should be interesting to see. Looks like ODM Razel is ready to go. Random Mix, still working out his build. Iron Sand Desert, not the biggest map, very open. Should be good for artillery, you know, but also good for a rush faction, since it's not the biggest, but it's big enough to where artillery is effective. It's not like Troll Country small, but it's definitely not something where it's like MP Blue Reach River or MP Peak Pass, where you can have artillery sitting up there and it'll take your opponent like 2 full minutes just to close the distance. So I don't know, we'll see what happens here. I do think Skaven should go light on artillery against Chaos in general, just because Chaos, you know, Warhounds, Manticores, all that stuff is very good at shutting it down. And you really need a lot of mass and melee muscle in the form of Rat Ogres, Skaven Slaves, and, you know, Clan Rats, things like that, in my opinion, just so you can effectively outlast the Chaos Onslaught. And I just think it's a trap a lot of players fall into with Skaven, where they just want to bring too many of the weapons teams, too many of the shiny Gatling guns, the huge laser cannons, stuff like that, which is sexy, no doubt about it. But less is more when it comes to those fancy guns, because they're only useful if you can protect them. So I like to have 3-to-1 ratio when it comes to melee to range. So over here, looks like Razel has readied up, as I mentioned, because I once again am riddled with dementia. Random Nix, still thinking about it. Perhaps this did get into his head, his opponent picking the faction that he just lost with against him. You check in on the tournament page 2 hours before the tournament starts. When you log in to that page, it will have a check-in button, and you just click that and you're good to go. And if you have any issues, just post in the Discord and somebody will be happy to help out. Yeah, of course, man. All right, match point for both players. It is tied 1-1 in the final round of this best-of-3 final. ODM Razel will be bringing the Skaven this time against Random Nix and the Warriors of Chaos in a reverse of the matchup we just saw in round 2. The map is Iron Sand Desert, I think named for obvious reasons. Iron Sand. Alrighty, it is round 3. We're going to start with our blue player once again. So the Skaven being led by ODM Razel. Now, taking a high-level view of his army, I'm kind of just waiting for him to do the... I know he's going to do it like halfway through going through his army. He's going to do the big click. He's going to move his army back here or something, and I'm going to have to figure out where everything is again. Well, can't wait forever. Alright, we are going to have Skaven Slaves in force. Looks like Skaven Slaves and Skaven Slave Spears. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Skaven Slaves. And then 1, 2, 3, 3 Skaven Slave Spears. Then we are going to have 4 Rat Ogres, including the Pit Fighters of Hell's Deep. And there it is! There it is! We're going to have 2 Assassins on the field, both of them bringing Assassin's Trophy and Rival Hide Talisman. We have a Grayseer of Plague on top of a Screaming Bell, Screaming Bell. And then we're going to have a Arcane Conduit, Vermintide, Dreaded 13th Spell, and Unholy Clamor. Now, for the rest of this army, we have some elite infantry in the form of Plague Monk Censer Bearers, including Blight Scab's Plague Pack. These guys do have Rabble Rouse, which provides immune to psychology to all of the units in the area of effect. Now, for that artillery power, we do have Ikit's Zap, ready to fire away into the Chaos Forces, and 2 Poison Wind Globadiers. These guys very close ranged missile units, but they do a lot of damage over time with that Poison Wind effect. Now that's going to round out the Skaven army, and for the Forces of Chaos under the command of Random Nicks in red, we're going to have a front line of Chaos Marauders. No surprise there. We're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of them. Is it 6? And I lied. So these are Chaos Warriors, not Chaos Marauders. So 1, 2 Chaos Marauders on the wings. Then we have 4 Chaos Warriors in the center. And I'm so sorry, I did not mean to offend you or insult you, Mr. Chaos Warriors. We have 2 more Marauders in the rear, along with the Soul of Damnation Hell Cannon, which I'm curious to see how it does here with Ikit's Zap on the field as well. But it does look like it's pretty safely deployed here behind the field, but the question is, will it be able to fire at anything from this range, or will it have to creep up on top of the hill where Ikit's Zap can start firing away? Going to have 3 Chaos Chariots on the field of battle. And then we're going to have a couple Manticores in the air. One will be a Feral Manticore. Another will be a Chaos Sorcerer of Fire with Burning Head, Fireball, and the Scroll of Shielding. And then for the leadership, down on the ground, we got Sigvald the Magnificent. He's going to be bringing Standard Die, Heroic Killing Blow, Slippery, and Auric Armor. Is it Auric Armor or Auric's Armor? Just Auric Armor. Okay. Wasn't sure if Auric was like a person, if it was possessive, whatever. So here we go. Army's pushing out. Skaven looking, it looks like kind of both armies trying to go for a little bit of a defensive posture since they have the artillery, but Chaos with a bit wider of a formation. Those Chaos Warriors should do well against the Skaven Infantry here, except for the Plague Monk Censer Bearers, so we will see what happens. Right now, Soul of Damnation firing away. It looks like it's going for the Rat Ogres, if I had to guess, but it's going to be a swing and a miss here, as all it does is leave a burning hole in the ground. Over here, I guess they made some glass more than likely. Over here, a fireball going to be coming in. It looks like it's going right at... That was an interesting cast. It is a zap, but not going to connect with any of the cannons or do any damage, it looks like. So Skaven going to be safe for now. Looks like they're pushing forward, getting in range. I think he might be going for the Chariots or for the Soul of Damnation. Looks like the Soul of Damnation has crept up the hill and is going to be in range of Ikit's Zap at this point. But like I said, it looks like it was going for the Chariots, and there it is. So Chariot's going to take one volley, and that's going to wake them up, and they're immediately going to get in motion. All right, there goes another volley into the Chaos Chariots. I think overall that's Chaos should be pretty much grateful for that. But right now the Hell Cannon is not firing because I think he's worried about Ikit Zap shutting it down, so he did dismount. Not a bad move at all, but it looks like he may want to remount, and he's doing so now. But oh, Ikit Zap immediately seeing him mount it and then firing at the Soul of Damnation. Soul of Damnation going to get a shot up, and we'll see if he continues to mount it or not. Over here, Burning Head going through the back lines, and oh my goodness gracious, how did I miss that? Blight Scab's Plague Pack getting burnt down to about a third of their overall health. That is absolutely devastating. Very key, expensive unit in this Skaven army. That's a beautiful Burning Head, and I'm sorry I missed it, but to be fair, it looks like the player missed it too. Over here, Rat Ogre's getting a nice little charge out, but taking some damage. I'm not sure if maybe they are the focus of a couple fireballs or not. Right now, the Skaven artillery still at full model count. I think they're making a mistake here. They're firing at the Chaos Sorcerer now, rather than, I think, don't underestimate the Soul of Damnation. No, actually, never mind. It's been dismounted again, so he's making the right play. I should shut up. Over here, Plague Monk Censer Bearers coming in to join the combat against the Chaos Warriors, but a beautiful rear charge incoming from the Chaos Chariots, going to send a bunch of their models flying through the air and knocking them out of position. That was a very beautiful charge there. Hammer and anvil tactics from Chaos on full display. In the center engagements, though, it does look like Skaven getting some good wins here. Chaos Marauders getting shut down pretty hard. Skaven Slave Summon on top of the Chaos Warriors, tying them down for a while, buying them some time to work on the chariots. Over here, looks like the Gracier of Plague trying to help out against these Chaos Warriors. Maybe not going to be doing the best in the long haul, though. Over here, one of the Chaos Chariots did get caught by some Rat Ogres, and they're doing some nice damage. But a Feral Manticore inbound to try to provide some assistance with those Terror routes. Meantime, Scorches continuing to go down from the Plagues here, scorching their way across the desert sand through Chaos Warriors. Pit Fighters a Hell Deep and an Assassin over here in combat. The other Assassin looking like he's coming over to get in combat with Sigvald the Magnificent, who is on top of the Gracier. Rival High Talisman getting popped. That's debuffing his melee attack by 44. Or by 40, sorry. But Sigvald still has 50 melee attack. He has Sons of Monster. And the Assassin is really suffering as a result. The Assassin, probably a wise move to run away here. Because Sigvald is just so scary. Heroic Killing Blow popped on top of him, but so far the Assassin getting some lucky, rolls in the RNG here. It doesn't look like he was getting connected with too much by Sigvald, so he's going to start running away now. Rival High Talisman has timed out, and they're just going to go back to swarming Sigvald with a bunch of Skaven Slaves. Over here, Rat Ogres on top of the Chaos Chariots. Clan Rat Summon coming down to pin down these Chaos Warriors. And the Skaven are holding it together pretty well here. Razel looking like he's in a pretty strong position. We have one Assassin just hanging back. I think he's doing that intentionally to kind of protect Igit's Zap, but we will see. We do have some Chaos Chariots inbound looking like they're trying to shut down that artillery before it can kill off the Chaos Sorcerer. Chaos Sorcerer looks like he's not getting micro to dodge too well right now. Obviously, both players having their micro stretched to the limits, I imagine, in this battle, as there are little engagements spread out all over the damn place. But at this point, it's looking like the Skaven are coming out on top. Blight Scab's Plague Pack, although taking a lot of damage in like the initial stages of this battle, they're still hanging in there at 352 HP, providing that immune to psychology, which has been so critical to helping this Chaos army not fall victim to terror routes from these Manticores. Manticore now diving into combat. There's some Rat Ogres in here that pin him in place, though, and the Assassin is coming in from the rear, but first going to get knocked back on his ass. Don't worry, he's getting back up, shaking it off, and running back in there with his dual daggers. Yeah, big hit from the Assassin there. And it looks like the Manticore is going to go down, and Fireball coming in from the Chaos Sorcerer, trying to get something going. But it's just not working. Not the best connection there from the Fireball. Sigvald is out here isolated, working on his own. And Chaos, besides the Sorcerer, besides Sigvald, they, I guess they have a Chariot over here, actually, that I just noticed, but only 2 models, not very high on health. You do see 2 Chaos Marauders regrouping out here on the periphery, but the Chaos Warriors are pretty much donezo. Feral Manticore did just regroup. Here comes a Burning Head. Burning Head going to try to rescue Sigvald from his fate and doing some nice damage here. Blight Scab's Plague Pack still hanging on, though. Over here, Assassin, danger close to dying. Sigvald, if he gets the attack order down on top of him, which may not happen because he's pinned down by so many different units. But here comes the second Assassin. Sigvald looks like he's about to break. Feral Manticore getting into combat, but there goes another Clan Rat Summon. Unholy Clamor going down to boost all this Skaven leadership nearby. And it looks to me like Chaos is going to lose it, and ODM Razel will do what Random Nyx could not and lead the Skaven to victory over the Warriors of Chaos. Hey, Right Face, good to see you, man. And yeah, who knew that rats could fly? All they need is a little help from a chariot. 1,800 damage on top of Igit's Zap. Like I say, less is more. The Poison Wind Globadiers doing okay for themselves. Rat Ogres, though, beautifully played across the board. Really like to see the Rat Ogre play there, so on point. Plague Monks, Censor Bears, didn't really come close to paying for themselves. I don't think it was a complete loss, though. I think there were some really good burning heads, and his opponent was just playing it very well. The Assassins And Grace here not getting a ton of value, but I think, you know, obviously the summons doing a lot for the Skaven army, and the assassins getting into some key engagements to help out there, pulling the Lord out of some tight situations. Sigvald doing great work. The Feral Manticore not getting the most value. So a lot of the chariots looking like they got shut down pretty hard there, but that's what the 4 Rat Ogres are for, and that's why I really like to see a lot of Rat Ogres, and that's something that Random Nix did not bring in his army in this previous matchup. He only had 2 Rat Ogres. This army has 4, and I think the Rat Ogres are just so useful at pinning down Manticores, including the Chaos Sorcerer's Manticore, and pinning down the chariots and preventing them from getting a lot of value. Because 3 chariots with 2 Manticore or with 2 Rat Ogres trying to pin them down and kill them, I think would be a very, you know, tall order for those 2 Rat Ogres. And yeah, just very well played to both of these players. I really enjoyed their games. I hope they did too. Let's go let them know. They were awesome. Yeah, very even matchup. GG, well played to both players. See you around. And on that note, I will also see all of you around. I want to end the stream with a big thank you to all of our new followers and subscribers. Let's give them some quick shout outs. Looks like we have Stramek gifting a sub for 1 month. Logical EU, Aristodemos. I think I'm reading yesterday's. My apologies. But we also had with the Prime sub and hosting me with 1 viewer. So big thank you to him for the support today. But on that note, my son HW going to be signing out from here. I'll keep you posted on the streams to come. If you're a new player and you're interested in the game, go ahead and check out the Discord. You can find it in the chat or in the links below. And you can find out how to become a fresh recruit. Sign up for those new tournaments that happen every Sunday. And get your feet wet in the multiplayer scene so you can, you know, move up to bigger and better things eventually. But on that note, take care, everybody. My son HW signing out. I'll see you on the battlefield. Take care.